Configuring Firestorm. The first thing we need to do is launch Firestorm. So mine is sitting over here. If you haven't installed Firestorm on your computer, you can go to the Downloading Firestorm video and follow the instructions there. Firestorm is a program. It sits on your computer just like a web browser does. When you launch it for the first time, you should see something like this. Mine has this little notification saying Update Firestorm. That's just because my version is just a touch old. Yours shouldn't have that if you just installed it. So we'll just ignore this. Close me. Now we need to configure Firestorm. We need to do one thing to Firestorm so that it knows about my virtual world, Eretz Tova, in order to connect to my virtual world. And the key thing is down here. This is a list of the grids. A grid is another term for virtual world. They call it a grid because the virtual world is built on a north, south, east, west axis, a grid. And by default, it'll likely say, it should almost certainly say Second Life. If we click this, we see all the grids or the virtual worlds that are built in or are default to Firestorm. Mine is Eretz Tova. It's just a tiny grid. No one knows about it other than me and you now. It will sit in the list between D and F because it starts with E, Eretz Tova. So it's not there. So we need to add it. To do that, we need to go into the preferences. There's two ways to do that. We can go up to the viewer menu and click it and select preferences. We notice here it also says Control P. So you can Control P on the PC, Command P, I guess, on the Mac. So let's just do that, Control P. This brings up preferences. There's lots of stuff in here. There's a few things we will adjust later. But for the moment, all we need is to enter in the OpenSim address to my virtual world. So we'll go down the list here to OpenSim. Click on this tab on the left. And this gives us the grid manager. And in the grid manager, we have all these. These are the same virtual worlds grids that we saw in this pop-up here. So we want to add a new grid right here, add new grid. And to do that, you need to paste in there, copy and paste, or type the URL that I will send you. I will send you this URL via email. I'm going to put it in myself right now, but you will get this in your email. So paste it in. Then all you do is you hit apply and OK. And it should show up right here, Eretz Tova. If we click this again, we can see, okay, we don't see it there because we're using it. But if we go to Second Life again, we set this back to Second Life, we get a little message, and we look in the list, we're going to see it. Okay, Eretz Tova. Once it's in here, you shouldn't have to touch it again. Firestorm will remember the next time that you were using Eretz Tova grid, and so you can just ignore it. This is a one-time thing. Now our Firestorm is ready to connect to our Eretz Tova world. I will send you a username and an email or username and password, and then you log in, and I'll show you how to do that in the next video.